What's up YouTube? It's Parrot, founder of Parrot CTFs, and today we are actually going to be doing a release arena lab, which is called Forward, and this is created by MalwareKid. Essentially what we'll be doing here is we are going to attack a login system that has a SQL injection. But before we can actually access this login system, there is some access control here that only allows certain IP addresses to access this login system. So first we'll have to figure out how to bypass that. After we do that, then we will perform our SQL injection and we'll grab some credentials. After utilizing these credentials, or finding these credentials, we're actually going to create our own word lists and brute force access to SSH, where we will gain our initial foothold. Following this, we will find a SETUID binary that is on the system that will gain us access to the root user, fully compromising this machine. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So first things first, we need to make sure that we are on the Release Arena VPN. So let's do that now. I already have it downloaded in the downloads folder. This is OVPN, if I can type today. Alright, we'll go ahead and close that out and open up a new window. Alright, let's start off with our Nmap scan here. And here is our IP address. And because it's SQL injection, we can go ahead and assume that port 80 is open. So let's go ahead and Nmap this. We'll do verbose, then SV and SC for service versions and default scripts. And again, port 80 and port 22 are open. That was expected. Let's go ahead and view this page here. Alright, looks like there is a default Apache page here, and it looks like the underlying system is Ubuntu, doing a little bit of OS fingerprinting here. Alright, let's go ahead and close this out for a second and look at our Nmap script here. And again, we can confirm that this is an Ubuntu system. And again, Apache's here and Ubuntu, etc. So let's go ahead and see if we can find any hidden paths on this file system. Let's use Gobuster here. So we'll use Gobuster. Do we have Gobuster? Nope. Let's go ahead and install that really quick. Alright, cool. Now that we have that installed, let's go ahead and use that. So we're going to use Gobuster with the directory option. Let's go ahead and define our target UI, which will be here. And then let's define our word list, which will be in user share. Do we have seclist installed? We do. Let's do seclist. Discovery, web content, and let's use the directory list medium, just as a quick start here. And while we're waiting for that to run, let's go ahead and open up our browser and see if we can figure out anything else. Usually we could just go ahead and do some manual like login.php. Oh, looks like there were some issues connecting there. Let's go ahead and just restart that. And we should be good to go. Alright, looks like we have login.php. And again, let's just go ahead and rerun that. See if we can find anything else of interest. And looks like we have an error message here of you do not have permission to see the site from this IP address. And we'll actually notice that that IP address is the same as our VPN. So it's saying that we ourselves do not have access to this page, which is interesting. So let's go ahead and open up Burp Suite here. All right, now that we have Burp Suite open, let's capture this request. Turn intercept on. And let's go ahead and forward this on to repeater. Let's go ahead and send that on through. And looks like we got that error message again. So if we wanted to figure out how to bypass this, there's a few headers that we can use here. We can try X forwarded host, and we can just point that to localhost, and basically all that this is going to say is, hey, this request is actually meant for the host machine here, and it looks like we're not getting that. So if we go ahead and do an X forwarded 4 and try again, and it looks like we were able to get that login page. So that's pretty interesting here. If we want to play around with it in the browser, we can actually install an extension, which is called X forwarded 4 header. Let's go ahead and install that. Add that to Firefox. Go ahead and pin that to our toolbar. Let's go ahead and do 127.0.0.1 with the X forwarded 4. Let's go ahead and refresh, and that's going to go ahead and send that header through here. And when we refresh, we'll actually see this login page. So since we know that it is SQL injection, let's go ahead and test this out. Let's just put a bunch of special characters in here and try again from here. We got invalid credentials. Interesting. Let's go ahead and, instead of trying to do that manually, let's just intercept this request here. We're going to forward that onto repeater. And there's the X forwarded 4 header. Let's send this on through. And again, it's just going to say invalid credentials. But let's do or 1 is equal to 1. And then let's do or 1 is equal to 1. Let's see, is that going to give us a bad request? What is that going to do? That's again just going to say invalid credentials. So it looks like we're going to have to go in a bit blind here, which is fine. But now that we actually have access to this login page, let's just do test and test, and let's pop out SQLMap. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this, and looks like this just had a bunch of issues. No worries. Let's go ahead and do a SQL.txt, and let's put that in there. We'll do SQL map, and let's define this as our input file, and let's see what it can come up with. we'll go ahead and do no, just because it appears to have found MySQL 5.0.2 time-based blind SQL injection on the username parameter. And then it's asking us for the remainder of the test, you want to include all tests provided level. We'll go ahead and do no. I'm just going to go ahead and continue. Do you want to try no? That's fine. Checking if it's a false positive. Let's go ahead and minimize that so it's a bit easier to see. And it looks like it is confirmed to be vulnerable. Do I want to keep testing for others? Nope, that's fine. Just because we have one here, we're good to go. So let's go ahead and find the DBs. Do you want to optimize the value? Nope, that's fine. Alright, looks like we got all of our databases here. This did actually take quite a long time, and I did have to stop and restart it a few times, including adding some rate limits here. All good though, we did actually get our DB. So let's go ahead and check out the CTF DB. That's the only one that looks out of place. So we can go ahead and assume that that's the DB we're going to be using. Let's go ahead and look at the tables. Alright, looks like we got our users table. Let's go ahead and define that in here as the users table. Let's go ahead and check out the columns. Alright, looks like we have IDs, passwords, and usernames, and this is just going to tell us the varchar there. So we can go ahead and exit that out. And rather than doing columns here, let's just go ahead and dump all. Let's go ahead and dump that out. Alright, looks like we got some passwords and usernames here. So we're going to go ahead and create a word list here. We'll just call it word list. Alright, let's go ahead and put password 123 in here. Let's put admin, CTF user, SQL user, CTF password, SQL password. Alright, and if we remember from before, we do have port 22 open. Just go ahead and do Hydra, tag L, wordlist.txt, tag P, wordlist.txt. Go ahead and do SSH. That'll be 10.14.3.242. Let's go ahead and start attacking that. Alright, and it looks like we got some successful credentials here. Just go ahead and do SSH SQL user at 10.14.3.242. And the password for this is SQL password. SQL password. There we go. Alright, and we got our initial foothold. So interesting. Looks like there's already linps on this machine. That's cool. So we don't have to download that. Let's go ahead and do a sudo find en route name user.txt, and then let's redirect those permission errors to dev null. Oh, forgot we don't have sudo. That's fine, we could just do a find. Regular find command. Alright, and then there's our user.txt. Looks like it's a bit hidden there. Okay. So can we do a sudo tag L? And then what, that SQL password? It looks like we cannot run anything on sudo. Let's see if we can find on root, what is this, plus S or U. How do we do that again? I honestly forgot here how to find SETUID. Actually, we have linps on here already. Let's just run linps. Let's mark that as executable. And before we blindly run a script, let's actually look at it. Alright, let's do... Okay. Looks close enough to linps. Alright, let's run it. Yep, and that's linps. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and run this and see what it can find. Looks like it's vulnerable to the CVE. So that's pretty interesting. Let's go ahead and look up the CVE, see what it is. Go ahead and copy that. Paste that. Oh, looks like this is still connected to Firefox. Let's go ahead and get rid of that from earlier. Alright, cool. This is what, Polkit? That's likely a false positive. We can try it. If all else, we'll keep that in our back pocket. Set UID with screen. Baron, same edit here, or Sam edit, and PwnKit. Highly doubtful PwnKit will work, but we go into tools. I don't think I have PwnKit on here, but we can keep that in our back pocket as well. Let's go ahead and see what else we can do here. Looks like cron's on the system. There's our current session. There's Apache. Can maybe dump creds for memory as root. By user PCTF as root. That's interesting. Let's see if there's anything else on here that we can maybe take a look at. That's just our interfaces. Nothing of interest there. There is a SQL server running, but again, we've already dumped out everything from there. No trace protection. There's all our UIDs. There's our LXD. Here's the PCTF user. That's interesting. Keep seeing that. There is LXD on the system. There's some different software here. So it looks like we have a GCC just in case we need to compile some exploits. We do have wget to go ahead and get those exploits. Nothing of interest there. Searching for SQL credentials. User, nothing of interest there. Okay. common password files. Nothing of interest really there. Let's keep going down. It looks like, what, is there a TMUX session? This is interesting. Keep that in our back pocket too. See if there's anything. There's an unknown SETUID binary, and it's just sitting on the root file system. That's very odd. Let's check that out. That really jumps out at me, because that should have been in, if that's like a regular old binary, it would have been in like /bin or /op, so that is very weird. Yeah, let's go ahead and check that out. First things first, I actually want to see, okay, so that LXD isn't going to help us. We're not in those groups. Yeah, let's see if we, yep. Just confirming that there. Can we cat late? Looks like some sort of binary here. Can we, let's just do strings late, see if we can make sense of anything in here. There's a SETUID stuff. Some glibc stuff, some system stuff. Some GCC. I'm assuming this is like a C file. Can we, what is it, file? Or is it type? I forget what is it, what it is on Linux. Is it type? Oh, hold on. File late. Alright, cool, yeah. So this is an elf file, a SETUID elf file. This is an interpreter. Hey, fuck it. Let's run it. Oh, hold on. Oh, looks like that just gave us a root shell. Interesting. Alright, well, we have rooted the system. Let's go ahead and do a sudo find on root, name of root.txt. Interesting. Let's go into root here. Ah, that's under flag.txt. Alright, and then I want to go, just out of curiosity here, what is this pctf user? Is there anything of interest here? Nope, not really. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed. Until next time. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments.